Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. For every good movie that comes out and does poorly, there's a shitty movie that comes out and does really well. Dirk Diggler, Caesar Flickerman, and Dr. Fraser Kane come along on this blockbuster thrill ride to make sure somewhere, someplace, sometime, a really awesome movie is being made right now.
It was Transformers, Age of Extinction.
Hey baby, I hear the blues are calling, tossed salads and scrambled eggs. Mercy. And maybe I seem a bit confused. Yeah, maybe, but I got you pegged. But I don't know what to do with those tossed salads and scrambled eggs. They're calling again.
Resisting Boredomites, roll out. Welcome to Resisting Boredom, where we drink, ramble, and discuss things to help in the never-ending quest of not being bored. I'm Brandon Kaiser.
I'm Brian Haas.
Josh Jessen.
Kid Coleman, and we are the Alcobots.
Alcobots, right.
Should talk to you about that one. Hold on.
Probably should.
It works. It works. We're alright with it. Anyways, we saw Transformers Age of Extinction today. Now we are going to review it. It is directed by Michael Bay. It stars Mark Wahlberg, Kelsey Grammer, and Stanley Tucci.
Yes.
That's what we saw, correct?
Yeah. Those are the actors we saw in this movie.
Those are also the actors we saw, and we heard some actors too. But we don't need to mention them.
John Goodman.
And Ken Watanabe, and now we did. Alright, anyway. And Peter Cullen, as always.
I was going to say,
as always,
Peter Cullen doesn't get the cut.
He should, he's like the best. Alright, anyways. I guess I will start us off in reviewing this movie. I will start off by saying, wow, getting into it, guys. I will start off by saying there is some fun to be had in this movie. There are some interesting shots. The effects guys did their job as they always do. I mean, it's well done, well produced, things like that. Yeah. Now's where the review turns. This movie's pretty dumb. Let's start off there. Yeah, I don't know. The dialogue, the acting, none of it is very good in this movie. I feel like this movie was too long, which we kind of knew was going to be a complaint going into it. It's over 2.5 hours long, you know, just barely. Doesn't need to be, but it is. Yeah, it is a very convoluted story. I actually probably couldn't explain the story to someone if they asked me again, in detail. Like, Autobots fought some Decepticons and some guys from space. If that is the description you want, that's what I know.
That's the movie you're expecting. That's probably why you went to see this movie.
Yeah. Other than that, they tried to do... I was told that in going into this movie they weren't going to try to do all that stupid comic relief stuff. They lied. They tried to do it again, and it didn't really work out. Maybe it wasn't as silly as the past movies and their ridiculous comedic relief, but yeah, it wasn't very good. It took way too long to get to the Dinobots, because let's be honest, that's the reason anyone wanted to go see this movie, right? Is Dinobots. Yeah. At least that was one of the main reasons why I actually wanted to go see it, was Dinobots. But they don't come in till the end. Spoiler alert. Be prepared.
And all they are just giant Dinobots. That's it.
Yeah, they don't have much to do either. It's kind of disappointing, so, yeah.
They don't really adequately explain what they were doing there. Where the fuck happens at the end.
Yeah. None of it's... There's not a lot of explaining.
There's just like 4 giant robots that show up like dinosaurs and like beat up some shit and go, alright, we're out.
There's not a lot of in-depth explaining, and when they do, it doesn't make much sense. So, yeah. Alright, anyways, a couple of nitpicks I had in this movie, little detailed things I'm going to bitch about now. Number 1, accents. This movie takes place in Texas. No one sounds like they're from Texas.
It takes in Texas, USA, too.
Hardly anyone sounds like they're from Texas, first of all. Second of all, Mark Wahlberg calls out the boyfriend about his accent when he is a Texan with a Boston accent. Okay? It was so ridiculous, that discussion.
My nitpick about that scene is, like, when they open it to Mark Wahlberg's character, they have in the subtitles at the bottom, like, Texas, USA.
Yeah.
So when the guy says he's from Texas, and he goes, like, where are you from in Texas? And I'm like, motherfucker, we don't even know where you're from. You're from Texas, USA. How are you going to give this guy shit for his accent and being from Texas when you have a shit accent? And we know
also, he sounded Australian, and he kept calling him, what, Lucky Charms or whatever?
Irish. He was supposed to be Irish.
Was he supposed to be Irish? He sounded more Australian. Anyway,
I caught him. He sounded more
I don't know
Texan
what
than
he
Mark
was.
Wahlberg.
I don't know what he was, but hey, he just so happened to be a rally car driver out of nowhere in the middle of Texas.
And
Great.
he's legit. He got picked up by Red Bull.
on
driving
top-
that Goodyear car.
On top of that, Mark Wahlberg plays an inventor in this movie. And if you can believe what I just said, you might have help in the movie because he wears glasses. That's how you know he's smart.
Oh.
He puts on glasses for several scenes.
Hey,
in
he
the
took him
movie.
off dramatically too.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. So
This is all
that's
like-
the start of the ridiculousness. Almost every shot of people, or even robots in this movie, almost all of them have to take place from the ground up. Everything is a looking up shot. As everything gets a little
I get
insane
why
partway through.
the
when you
robots I
realize
get
this.
because they're big,
Yeah, because you're trying to show how big they are,
but
but
the people.
people talking doesn't need to be shot dynamically like that. Yeah. I think if I see yet again another shot of a transformer spinning and catching people, I'm gonna cut my eyes out because for 4 movies now, I've seen that shot or a variation on that shot. I've seen it enough. It's time to get
Well, they
something
only did
new.
it like 3 or 4 times.
It
in
is
this
the
In
most
this movie,
appropriate
yeah.
way to catch people now.
Yeah. We need something new here, guys.
When I turn into a robot, the people get thrown out of the
Great.
car, and then I have to catch them, and then I turn back into a
Now,
car.
now we're
Yeah.
going to see them flipping, catching people.
Oh, no, just,
No
we
more
need
spin.
something new. This whole movie itself is very repetitive. This felt like every other Transformers movie. We were promised a sort of reboot without Shia and getting Mark Wahlberg, and no, it's pretty
That's
much...
what you're promised.
That's what I thought. I thought we heard this was almost a reboot. A new trilogy is how they described it. But last but not least, why did the robot have a fucking jacket?
I saw that. I liked it.
Why did the one robot have a jacket?
You didn't like that?
Stupid. It's stupid.
It was so we could have that dramatic scene
It
with
was
his jacket
dumb.
flowing.
I actually thought you would actually enjoy that, Jack.
No, it was ridiculous. There was no purpose in him having a
No
jacket.
purpose of having a beard, but he did. The proved he was a man.
But the beard was cool looking. Alright. Anyways, overall,
If he had turned into a plane, it would have made sense.
if you enjoyed the other Transformers movies, you may find some enjoyment in this movie. But yeah, it's basically more of the same-ish. And it's just kind of getting old to me, and it's ridiculous, and I didn't really like this movie very much. So there you have it.
A letter opener.
So Brian, what did you think of Transformers Age of Extinction?
I thought it was a movie with giant robots in it where they punched face at each other.
Oh.
And that's what I got. I could have had them tighten it down and, like, get rid of all the human characters. Or, like, I mean, they should still be in, like, the shot as background, but...
Why aren't these just CG animated movies?
Yeah, I
Right?
go for that.
Because Michael Bay likes real explosions.
Well, why you gotta pay Mark
Real-
Wahlberg?
Well,
like,
those aren't real. Those are probably digital explosions.
yeah.
Alright.
I also don't like all the explosions are just fireworks. They all look like sparklers to
Yeah.
me. And that, when it hits the robot itself, you can be like, oh, electronic bullshit, I guess. But when you're hitting like stone buildings and barns, and you're like,
And they're just sparkle effects shit everywhere.
yeah, it gets annoying quick. I think that's the thing is that you want to go see robots fight, but they also have to do something new with these robots punching face, and it just wasn't there. And you could tell it's the fourth one, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the fourth
It's
one.
late in the series, and I need a break. Well, I gotta say,
Alright.
go for it, Judge.
I don't know why they made this movie. Well, I mean,
All money.
Well, I don't-
Yeah, they wanted to
I,
make
I
one.
know why they made this movie. I don't know why. No, I guess it's all money. It's money. It's just money. This movie was completely stupid. It didn't.
You don't know why the people who actually created it and were getting
No,
paid.
and I get it. Like, you know
effort into
what?
it.
Michael Bay wants to make another explosion movie. Some of the actors are like, "Fuck, I'll be in an explosion movie." I doubt anybody in this movie thought like they were doing good work. You know, I don't think you go like Kelsey Grammer. What are you most proud of? Your role in Transformers: Age of
I
Extinction.
think Stanley
I didn't-
Tucci was having a little fun. Like, I think
Well,
he
if you're
was,
if you're in a
buying
shitty
into
movie
it
like this,
more.
just
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
give a shit. But I mean, I don't think anyone went home after that and went, "Yeah, no, I'm really proud of my work in that." It was just a paycheck.
Except for the young actors.
Maybe young actors. Fuck that.
I think they were just happy to be in a big movie.
Using the term actor.
Yeah,
loosely,
actor.
on those
Like,
guys.
I worked with Mark Wahlberg and Stanley Tucci and
Kelsey Grammer,
Bing Bing Lee.
TJ Miller.
They can all say, "Oh, I worked alongside Mark Wahlberg." And like, "Oh, what movie?" Transformers. Like it'd be one of those moments.
But don't look at my acting in it. That'd be the warning. It's like, oh yeah, I was in that movie, but don't watch it.
I need a house. That's like I need a house money. I think because I mean it is a huge budget. You know, it's probably going to sell well. I mean, at this point for the fourth movie, I really don't know why people would go see this, but I know they will.
Unless they're reviewing it for the internet, right?
Unless they're reviewing it for
We made a sacrifice for you all.
And we're gonna do it again in 2-3 weeks. So keep
But-
going, Josh.
Yeah.
Ah.
But I mean, this like the plot was just stupid, and like the lack of the comic relief. And then I noted that when the comic relief character that they got rid of in the beginning of the movie, later on when Stanley Tucci,
Stanley Tucci, that's his name.
when he starts being like making smart ass quips and shit like that, I realize it's just that guy's lines, but now in a different character. It's like that's like how this movie is. Everyone's so obvious in this movie. There is no subtle. And it's in the very first scene with Mark Wahlberg. That like set the whole pace of like Michael Bay movies. Is when he pulls up and he sees this guy get out of his car and he goes, "Well, look who showed up to work." I mean, it's not like there's nobody there. He's not talking to anybody. It's not like he mumbles it under his breath.
Didn't you ever do that?
Well, no, hold on. It's not like he mumbles it under his breath to like establish the character, but in a realistic way. It's literally a spoken out loud line that he just blurts, so the audience can be like, "Oh, that's his lazy friend that he knows." It's everything about Michael Bay movies are so obvious like that, where they like see an evil guy. If they don't outright call him evil, he'll do something really evil, like in the first scene. That's all establishment shots of Michael Bay movies are. There's my friend who can throw a really mean fastball, and then go to him and he's like a baseball player. That's how Michael Bay does the movies, and it's just so.
Well, in this case, I think it is kind of aimed at like 10, 11-year-old boys. So it might
Do
not
you
be
think
the
so?
worst.
There's some dark stuff in this movie.
There
Or
was.
some like
There was
sketchy
sometimes-
things that happen.
I thought it was like, is this rated R? And I'm like, no, it has to be PG-13.
Yeah, this movie struggles
Transformers.
with what it wants to say.
It wants to get.
Does it want to be serious? Does it want to be kind of loose and jokey?
It wants to
crosses
get
the
guys.
line
It
back
wants
and forth.
both because it wants
Yeah.
the new kids to watch it, and it wants to us older
It
guys
doesn't
to
work
watch
though.
it as kids.
They need to.
I
Pick
know,
a
I know,
side.
I know,
They need to
but
pick a side. is
They're
what
trying to play
doing.
both.
So all right.
Yeah, but and then I remember one part, the action sequence, human action sequence, when whatever that dude's name kicks that air unit off and tries to like drop it on his head.
Yeah.
When he kicked it off the wall, there was just a concrete wall where he kicked it off.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Because we need to remember that Mark Wahlberg is a Texas inventor who
Action.
somehow is an action
Yes.
megastar and can jump from thing
the whole
to
fact that
thing
Mark
and-
Wahlberg was in like with his alien sword gun thing. But I just really like that there was like nothing that air unit was hooked up to. It was just there and kicked off.
yeah.
And there's a lot of scenes
Yeah,
in this
I'm
movie.
just throwing into it that's China because there was like some Asian dude in a cage. That one apartment. Why was he in a cage? What horrible
This-
thing did he do?
This is my this is something I just
Cultural gap.
remembered. I remembered while we were talking another thing about this movie. So you have this almost stereotypical, well no it is stereotypical, Asian Transformer who's a samurai, right? Voiced by Ken Watanabe.
Yeah.
Why is he a Bugatti Veyron? Those are like German or like French or something.
I know.
Why is he a Veyron?
Well, no, because if he had turned into
I thought he was a helicopter.
No, he was the Bugatti because I saw it on his chest. He turns blue.
Later on,
like
he was-
the Bugatti.
later on, he
So
was
he
the
could
car-
become a car and
Why
a truck?
wasn't he like
Yeah.
a GTR or something? Something made in an Asian
Because that would have been
country.
racist.
No, that would have been fitting with his
He was already a
character.
stereotypical Asian dude. If they made
It's
him an
true,
Asian
it's
car,
true. You're
that would have
right.
been like the nail in the coffin. They could get by with him being in like
So
a
it's
German
less
car.
racist to have him be in another race's car.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
it was some form of Mitsubishi.
Yeah, no, if he had turned into an Asian car, they'd been like, oh, the Asian guy's in the Asian car. But now that he turns into like a German car, they'll be like, well, I guess it wasn't completely stereotypical.
Okay.
I assume that's logic.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I thought of that as a possibility. I just didn't
I figured
really see.
I figured that's what they were going for.
If it's going to be racially stereotypical, it's going to be racially
Just go all the
stereotypical.
way.
Yeah, just go full stereotype, okay? Put him in a Nissan.
Yeah. But I don't know, like
I did that last
I agree with, all right, to finish up my review, I agree with what you said about that this really didn't have a focus, and if someone was to explain, like, go like, oh, what was Transformers like? And I'd be like, there's a bounty hunter, I don't know why.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to know why either. Optimus Prime doesn't,
Everyone, he knows why, but won't tell anyone. No one else knows why.
Optimus Prime thinks he knows, but obviously I don't think he knows what's going on. There's ancient robots that are dinosaurs, but they don't talk. So it's not like you know why they're there, and then they just fucking free to roam the waste of China now, I guess.
Yeah.
Just let them free at the end. Whatever, see you later. Robots, and hey, you guys, stick around, we'll take it off into space. And then suddenly Optimus Prime has rocket boots.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
that
he
was
can
it.
fly suddenly.
So we can do spoilers?
Oh.
Do you think anyone cares about spoilers for this movie?
Good. I was worried.
But yeah,
Do you know what exactly happened in this movie
Oh,
that
I
could
know
be a
that.
spoiler?
No, really, but
Oh, So
Usually when I ask this, you say no spoilers.
no, I know, but for this movie, it's not the same.
Good to know.
It's not like
Good to know.
it's not like we're telling
Glad I
people
didn't
to go
go
see
before
this.
that.
Yeah, I think all in all, this was just a really fucking dumb explosion movie, and I wish people wouldn't go see movies like this
Yeah, me
because
too.
I don't think they deserved as much money as they're going to.
Edge
make
of
off
Tomorrow
this.
was a giant failure. It's
What?
way better
Really?
than this movie, or not a giant failure, but a decent failure.
Yeah.
Right? It didn't make that much money.
But that was
Surprising.
a really
much
good
better
movie.
than this movie. Much
This movie will make like all of its money, right? If it hasn't already.
Yeah. Well,
Everyone will say it's
yeah.
a really shitty movie. Everyone will go see.
Even
the
if
shitty
not
movie.
here, it'll do it worldwide.
Yeah.
And that's why they went to China in the movie, so they could get that China money.
I thought they were already doing this stuff with the accents, like, oh, they're representing fucking Ireland or Australia.
No, once they went to
Look,
China,
there's
they went
Japan.
the China money.
Yeah,
And
China.
look, there's John Goodman.
You can only
Americans.
You can only blow up Chicago so many times.
And I think it's about time we give Bumblebee a voice too. I'm
Yeah,
getting
I
really
thought
sick
they
of the
finally
radio
gave it to him, and I
thing.
listened closely, I was like, no, they didn't.
No, it's the fucking radio thing again. All right, kid, wrap us up here. What
Yeah.
do you think?
Well, when I went to this movie, pretty much I went with the thought I heard, like a headline I heard about. I don't know a headline, but someone said that it's pretty much a lot of the same. And I was like, oh, it is a lot of the same, but no Shia LaBeouf this time. So that's at least going to change something in my mind.
It's a little better for
Because
you.
I don't have hatred for Shia LaBeouf.
You do.
And I gotta say, fuck, it was terrible.
Now, Kit's face forced to realize that it wasn't Shia LaBeouf.
It wasn't just Shia LaBeouf.
They were just
But
really bad
it was
movies.
just bad. Shia LaBeouf is the annoying factor. The rest of the movie is just the shit factor. Yeah, pretty much.
Careful with that.
Yeah, I got it.
You have to
Yeah.
drink in the middle of talking. All right.
So pretty much, the movie story was just terrible, and the action was irritating. They took too much time. I didn't care about Mark Wahlberg's relationship with his daughter. No one did.
It was a very stereotypical relationship with his daughter.
I had to buy her a dress for prom. Who gives a shit? They didn't
have
even
to
have
do
that
it,
at all. They just had like he was just like, oh, I was like, I'm able to pay my my fucking house and shit like that. Didn't fucking matter.
There was a lot of needless stuff.
Whole
Why
like-
was Thomas Lennon in this movie?
I don't know who that is. Oh, that guy?
The guy from
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked him.
But he was there for like no
For no
reason
reason.
for this.
He didn't need to be in the movie at all, but
He
he
fucking
was
does.
No, yeah, I like him, but why was he in it?
It was just
2 hours, 35-minute runway.
Yeah, exactly.
it wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
And what is it wasn't necessary? The whole thing. The whole thing
This
wasn't
movie was
necessary.
on that.
It wasn't necessary. I got a little bit annoyed when Megatron is actually Galvatron and whatnot.
Yeah.
And like that just brought forth the whole thing when he actually rose up. What did he yell? Galvatron! Megatron has some fucked up things where he has to yell his goddamn name when he gets up. He did that in the first movie. He was like, I'm Megatron! I was like, what the fuck do you need to announce that?
Who's
You're
voicing
killing
him
them. They
now?
don't give a shit.
I like the whole "you're ruining every my plans."
Who gets to voice him now? Because it was Hugo Weaving.
I don't care.
I doubt it's Hugo Weaving.
I don't care. They
So-
they got paid too much. It's terrible.
I'll get you next time, Autobots.
He yelled.
As he villainously walks off camera.
All Megatron does is yell his fucking name and just be a bitch.
Megatron.
That's what happened.
He has vague evil plans that are even worse than
The Dinobots.
anyone else.
I kind of thought the Dinobots were somewhat interesting, like in their human-esque form. When they had like their
Robot form.
his tail, sorry, his robot form was like his like,
Robot
tail was a
Titans.
club and shit. Oh, that's pretty rad. Did they show any of that in the battle? No. Anyway, so
There I was.
Stanley
No
Tucci
shit.
was the best part of the movie that I could figure out.
That was just his line about the future, though, in the very first time we see him, though, right?
Anything with Stanley Tucci was just entertaining. Stanley Tucci was just
Yeah, he was pretty entertaining.
Stanley Tucci was just entertaining in general. Stanley Tucci came the close second for the best part of the movie. But the best part of the movie can't really be redone again because it involves me sitting in that theater in that scene where Mark Wahlberg tells T.J. Miller, "I own you," and he goes like you can't you can't own people anymore. Not even for a very long time. Not even in Texas. And me and the black dude I was sitting next to laughed at the same time.
I heard that.
That was awesome.
I laughed a
I
little
will
at it, too.
never have that moment ever again. But yeah, that was great. Everything else was shit. I could have got up and walked out of the theater after that part. I was like, well,
Ooh.
I'm done.
More racism from this movie. They basically move forward the stereotype that all Asians know karate or some sort of kung fu.
Yes.
That guy gets out of the elevator and just...
Yeah, they explained her away.
Yeah, sure, she had training, but he just gets
I was
out
fine
and
with
goes...
I was fine with that.
They were in China.
Alright.
Look, he was just sitting there waiting for the, been too
What a
smart.
shit elevator.
Yeah.
I know, it takes like 5 minutes to get going.
Anyway, I think
So was that all you had, Kit? Was there anything else you wanted to say?
Michael Bay should just stop making movies.
So we'll go into a little bit more maybe on this movie in the audio podcast. Be sure to check that out. We will link to our website over where you can download that. But in general, we are now going to go on to the rating system this week.
Look.
This week we'll be rating this movie based on how many product placements out of 5 do we give this movie. So I guess I went first. I will rate this first. I will give this. I'll give it a 2 out of 5 product placements. I toyed with that in 1.5, but there were some cool shots. There were some interesting things done in this movie. It's just overall it wasn't very good. So 2 out of 5. I think just about says it. So Brian, how many product placements out of 5 are you giving?
I'll give it 2 40s or 2 product placements out of 5. Because it's still fun. Reminds me of my youth with robots punching each other. It's fun.
You liked bad movies as a child?
I like Transformers.
I think a lot of people like that.
that was kind of low.
I'm gonna go with the 1.5
Whoa!
product placements out of 2.
You mean that's giving it a 75%?
Oh, yeah, then it's definitely out of 10.
Okay.
1.5 out of 10.
Out of 5. 1.5 out of 5, right?
Yeah.
All right, 1.5 out
Yes,
of 5.
have some.
Yes, have some. All right.
I'm gonna have to give this 1.5 product placements out of 10 as well.
Out of 5.
10? Is it 5?
Our scale's on 5.
Is it 5?
It's 5.
Out of 10.
You
Because
guys aren't even that far into your 40s.
like,
Come on.
no, I forget that. I don't know.
Okay, you're good. All right.
This movie.
He's winning, guys. Sorry. It's
I would never watch this movie.
True winning
Like I
comes
would never
from
put a disc in
I'm
or
good.
click
I got
this movie on.
quarters in.
If this was on TV, I would kind of flash back and forth between 2 shitty movies. This being one of those shitty movies. That's about it.
okay. That was a way more in-depth review than I thought you were gonna do.
Kid's gonna watch The Purge and Transformer 4.
It's like, oh, it's fucking shitty.
You know, hey,
that's terrible. Oh my god, I hate you. Ah!
Even though
That's what
this movie is 2.5 hours long, I would rather watch this movie again than The Purge again.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
That's why we're
there you go.
looking forward to Purge 2.
Alright, how about Transformer 4's and
Boogaloo.
G.I. Joe Retaliation back to back?
Tell you what.
Ooh.
Wait, Judge Overtime.
That's a hell of an afternoon.
Well, tell you what,
That's a
I would
waste.
rather watch G.I. Joe Retaliation and G.I. Joe 1, The Purge, Transformers Age of Extinction, and
Baby Geniuses.
And even no,
I know where you're going.
No,
Baby
and
Geniuses.
you knew where I was going, and even a Good Day to Die Hard. Instead of seeing Baby Geniuses, correct? Because Baby Geniuses is shit, and it was on TV again.
Sorry, I'm a dick for ruining that for you. Anyways, yeah, so that's our review of Transformers Age of Extinction. Be sure to like and subscribe, comment below what you thought of this movie. Maybe you liked it. Maybe you disagree with us. Go ahead and let us know. Kids, I don't know, someone did.
Please
Someone
Kids
else
shouldn't
did.
be watching. Tell mommy you're watching something you shouldn't be watching.
Look, someone liked this. Okay?
Like our video if you didn't like Transformers 4.
Ooh.
Which hopefully is most of you, but I'm not so sure. Anyways, so yeah, that was our review, and be sure to check out the audio podcast. And until next time, find your own ways of resisting boredom. Because Transformers obviously isn't it.
Like fapping.
Or drinking 40s.
Take to your hands.
Or Kevin Bacon.
And covered by
I've been catching up on the following.
I tried to think of something sexual and stuff.
And
I just said dildos.
scene.
Transformers.
More than meets the eye. 40s in my hands. When you play the game of Edward 40 Hands, you win or you pee your pants.